Back, friends. Israel-Hamas war continues to rage on. Israeli strikes at several hospitals in Gaza City early on Friday as its defense forces push deeper into neighborhoods in its battle with Hamas terrorists, prompting increasing number of civilians to flee towards the south. A video at the scene showed a fire in the area as well as remnants of what appeared to be a missile. Remember, the hospitals are being targeted after evacuation. And the reason why this is happening is because Hamas uses hospitals as a shield to house their infrastructure. In fact, as we speak, Al-Shifa Hospital, which is supposedly built over the Hamas headquarters, with the Hamas headquarters in the basement or in the underground, has been surrounded by the Israeli Defense Forces in this hour, in this minute as we speak, and it's likely that a major offensive could be launched to eliminate the Hamas headquarters, to bomb the Hamas headquarters below the Al-Shifa hospital, evacuation for which has been carried out over the last 24 hours. Leaflets by the Israeli Defense Forces specific to Al-Shifa residents, patients, doctors, survivors were thrown in and spread around to make sure that all those who are inside the hospital evacuated, because the Israeli Defense Forces are going to target it. I am told Gursimran, who has been reporting from the ground for the last 1 month for us from the war zone, joins us live, I believe. Gursimran, reports suggest that the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City is now completely surrounded by the Israeli Defense Forces. Are you getting to hear something about when is the offensive likely to target the Hamas headquarters, which is believed to be below the hospital underground?
See, Abhishek, it was based on the intelligence that was generated by the Israel Security Authority that the operation was launched after there were credible inputs with the Israel Defense Forces that the Al-Shifa hospital is being used, the underground infrastructure is being used by the Hamas terror group, not only to carry out the attacks, but also storage for their arms and ammunition. And that's why the decision was taken that the hospital will be cornered. As part of the operations, the hospital has been zeroed in, and now those who are inside the hospital have been asked to evacuate it at an earliest, and post that the operation will resume. Earlier also we have seen that the spokesperson of Israel Defense Forces, Neil Hagari, he has made it amply clear with the help of some videos and the maps that how Hamas terror infrastructure is inside and under the hospital Al-Shifa, and other hospitals are being used as one of the key points to store weapons, and also the senior commanders of the Israel of the Hamas and it was intercepted by the IDF along with the ISA, and now the operation is underway to ensure that this threat that is being posed by the Hamas terror group is eliminated at an earliest from the Al-Shifa hospital. Abhishek.
Right, it seems we are going to see a lot of action there on the ground today and tonight. On that note, Gursimran, thank you so much. But there are some reports filed by Gursimran from the ground. Let's have a look at them.
We are reporting from the south of Israel, and we have with us the recovery that has been made by the Israel Defense Forces from inside the Gaza Strip, as well as the terrorists of Hamas, those who carried out this recovery along with them. And I request Vijay Surendra to show you that these are the launchers that are made in Russia. These are the RPG-7 VR launchers that are made in Russia, in Gaza, as well as in north of Korea. And along with them, the security forces have also recovered the anti-aircraft guns that were used by the terrorists of Hamas to target these areas. And apart from that, these are the drones, these are the UAVs that the terrorists of Hamas used inside the Gaza Strip to target the Israel Defense Forces when the IDF was entering the area that is very close to the Gaza City. And these were the drones. These are roughly 10 kilogram in weight, and they are the suicidal drones that are being used against the Israel Defense Forces inside the Gaza Strip. So these are the custom-made drones, the UAVs that are being used, and also these are the RPG-7 shells and also RPG-29 mortars that are being used by the terrorists of Hamas against the Israel Defense Forces. And I request Vijay Surendra to keep showing you the landmines that have been recovered. Also the grenades, these are the high-powered grenades that are being used for shelters, to target the shelters of the civilians that was in this very area. And these are the claymore mines and the explosives that the terrorists of Hamas brought with them so that they can carry out the more and more killings. So this was the huge cache of arms and ammunition that they have recovered from the inside the Gaza. For the first time on any television network, we are showing you the recovery that has been made from inside the Gaza Strip. So these are the claymore mines, the mines and the grenades. These are some of the Chinese grenades and the other grenades that have been recovered by the Israel Defense Forces, along with the anti-aircraft guns, and also these are the anti-tank mines that are being used by the Hamas terrorists. What they do is, with the help of the magnet, they restrict this to the vehicle of the security forces, and then they detonate this to do maximum damage to this very area. And I'll request Major G from the Israel Defense Forces if he can share some more details. So we have seen a huge warlike stores being recovered from inside the Gaza, also those who the terrorists of Hamas brought with them. We are seeing that these are high-powered grenades that they used to inflict damage. What have been the recoveries so far?
So far, we brought all these from the villages and houses around the Gaza Strip. They brought all that on October 7th. We bring things from inside the Gaza Strip. Our forces are dealing with mostly the same inside the Gaza Strip. The same rockets, the same mines and IEDs.
The recoveries of UAVs from inside the Gaza Strip you made mention of. What kind of UAVs are these? These are custom-made UAVs or exported from some countries?
Most of them are made in Hamas. It's called V-Tail or El Zawari. This is the name of a suicide UAV with a warhead inside.
So what is that we are witnessing? Was that an anti-aircraft carrier? Can you please...
This is an RPG-29 launcher used against tanks.
Okay, so we have been witnessing that with each passing day we are getting to know that Hamas has been using more sophisticated weapons against the Israel Defense Forces. Don't you see that some of the weapons that have been imported, be it from the Soviet Union or from the North Korea, that also mounts tension, concern for the Israel Defense Forces?
Well, most of the things is homemade inside their home explosive workshops inside the Gaza Strip. Around 80% is made by Hamas. A few things brought from Iran. And you have some rockets, RPGs from North Korea. Nothing much sophisticated, mostly old things.
So the Iran is supplying the weapons to the Hamas?
Yeah, for sure. We have Iranian mortars, Iranian explosives over there.
How this actually works? Because you were explaining that what is the modus operandi, how this actually works.
You have that thing, you just need to attach it and to put the fuse inside here, the initiator. You need to pull the pin and you have 7 seconds to run before it hits the tank.
This has been widely used against the IDF inside the Gaza.
Yeah, so far we know that they try to use it again in more than 5 tanks. Also we found at the party in Reim things like that attached to private cars.
These UAVs that you were mentioning, these are the suicidal UAVs, or how actually these UAVs work here?
Well, it has a warhead inside, you can see over there. They put a GPS with a place, a base or a village, and they just send it. It has a motor and a warhead.
Thank you, Major G. So this was Major G from the Israel Defense Forces, and this is the recovery. These are the claymore mines. These are the claymore mines, grenades, along with the wire cutters and also the explosive IEDs that have been recovered from the terrorists of Hamas. These IEDs are used to target the Israel Defense Forces, and I request Vijay Surendra Rawat ji to keep showing you the visuals that these are the high-powered grenades that are being used by the terrorists of Hamas to target the civilians, and also inside the shelters. This produces a heat of 3000 degrees centigrade, and that is enough to blow a place that is even one of the most secure places. And apart from that, these are the explosives that have been recovered. So these are the custom-made explosive devices that is inside a pipe, how the RDX and other explosives are installed, are filled, and then this is thrown on the Israel Defense Forces. So from the sophisticated weapons to the weapons that are being used here on the ground that have been acquired from the other countries or from any other area, this has been the modus operandi of the terrorists of Hamas, because this is the one of the major weapons that have been used. This is the RPG-29 that has been recovered, and apart from that, these are the other recoveries have been made from inside the Gaza and also from the kibbutz that were attacked by the terrorists of Hamas. in last 1 month. And this recovery that is being made from inside the Gaza Strip is really concerning, as with each passing day, more and more sophisticated weapons are being recovered by the IDF. Israel Defense Forces have struck another target that was inside the Gaza Strip. Right now we are reporting from the armistice line, and you will see the huge smoke that is coming out from a building. That complex was hit using the airstrikes a couple of minutes back, and now this was the target that was hit by the Israel Defense Forces using the airstrikes. And as we speak, more and more targets are now being hit by the Israel Defense Forces as part of their Operation Iron Sword that has now entered the day 35th, and the targets are the commanders of Hamas who have been operating from inside the Gaza Strip. As we report from the armistice line, this is one of the major attacks that have taken place today on the infrastructure of Hamas very close to the border, which clearly shows that the terrorists of Hamas are using their tunnel networks to activate the areas that have been cleared earlier by the Israel Defense Forces. And very important to mention is that at the time when the Israel Defense Forces are heading towards the city of Gaza, the terrorists of Hamas are trying to activate the other fronts also, so that they can engage the IDF from the other fronts as well, so that the plan that has been launched by the Israel Defense Forces to target the Gaza city, that can be delayed and they get some time to escape. As we are getting to know that some of the key commanders of the Hamas terror group, they are still inside the Gaza city using the tunnel networks to target the Israel Defense Forces. And now a multi-front war we are witnessing when it comes to Israel as well, and the Hamas is also trying to mount the pressure from the different corners. And this airstrike that has taken place here very close to the armistice agreement line clearly shows that the terrorists of Hamas are trying to mount the pressure using the tunnel networks to target the areas that have been cleared earlier by the Israel Defense Forces as part of their operation that was launched on 7th of October. And on 27th of October, the Israel Defense Forces stepped inside the Gaza. With Gursimran Singh for Republic Media Network from Armistice Agreement Line, Israel-Gaza border.